Where do the meanings of tarot cards come from? The meanings of tarot cards come from various sources. For example, from the position of the tarot cards on the Tree of Life, astrological correspondences, signs, planets and houses, the symbolism of tarot cards, experience and practice, meanings that pertain to fortune telling, and the Book of Thoth and Enochian magic. I have no knowledge of the Book of Thoth and Enochian magic, so I can't go into that. If you are interested in that, I recommend the book Tarot of Ceremonial Magic by Milo Duquette. Fortune telling. I don't recommend tarot readings for fortune telling. The future is veiled from us for good reason, and you rent that veil at your own peril. Knowing the future can invite psychological disaster. Only few people have the strength to face the inevitable. Having said that, we can anticipate the immediate future that is rooted in the present. Let me explain. A tarot reading reveals the fourth constellation that applies to the querence question. That fourth constellation will unravel and bring about certain circumstances in the immediate future. But again, those circumstances are rooted in the present, not in the future. Last but not least, history repeats itself or rhymes. Historical rhymes allow us to predict the future in a principled way. For example, when the stock market saturates and stocks are overvalued, financial companies are tempted to resort to financial trickeries to keep making profits. When this goes wrong, we get a financial crisis. All 7 financial crises were caused by this. So when the stock market saturates and stocks are overvalued again, investors should brace themselves. The experience and practice of the tarot readers. Every time a tarot reader divines, she will open herself to intuition, meaning the guidance and wisdom of the higher self. The 5th tarot card, the Hierophant, represents intuition. The Hierophant is the patron of tarot readings. Via the link to the higher self, tarot readers receive wisdom that pertains to tarot cards, in particular meanings that pertain to spreads or combination of tarot cards. Over time, the tarot reader accumulates her own set of meanings and/or elaborates those she learned. Symbolism. The symbolism of tarot cards suggests meanings too. This can be advantageous and disadvantageous. A tarot card represents the power of consciousness, which can be used creatively and destructively. The major arcana always picture the positive application of their power of consciousness. Minor arcana sometimes picture negative applications of the power of consciousness in question. That's not so good. To give a negative application of a power of suggestion introduces fatality. That's when a tarot reading becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Let's have a look at the 10 of Swords. Here is the picture of the Rider-Waite card taken from Wikipedia. The primary meanings of this tarot card are sorrow, grief and destruction. The picture shows a man pierced by 10 swords, apparently dead. As you can see, we got a strong negative suggestion. The querent will have a hard time escaping this negative suggestion. Besides sorrow, grief and destruction, the 10 of Swords also indicates the end of delusion, the overthrowing of limiting conditions, and the breakup of restrictions. While these are still uncomfortable experiences, they are good experiences because they pave the way for renewal. To avoid fatalism, the design of the minor arcana of the Enlightenment Tarot is neutral. I made a separate video about good and bad tarot cards. You can find the link in the video description. Astrological correspondences. Most meanings you know today are based on astrological correspondences. The astrological meanings of tarot cards go back to Arthur Edward Waite and the Golden Dawn. Here is an overview of the correspondences between tarot cards and the sun signs and planets. Every sun sign has a natural astrological house. Think of the 12 houses as principal fields of experience. The houses indicate the context to which the querent's problem or undertaking applies. For instance, if you find a significator in the house of home, which is ruled by Cancer, you can assume that the querent's question has something to do with her home, family, or real estate. I made a separate video about tarot and astrological houses. You can find the link in the video description. You can use astrological houses to divine physical and health issues. The 12 houses correspond to 12 sections of the body and the mind. The planets correspond to bodily and mental forces. The position of the tarot cards on the Tree of Life. The position of the tarot cards on the Tree of Life determine the primary and original meanings of the tarot cards. The tarot cards were invented to illustrate the 32 paths of wisdom on the Tree of Life, the 10 Sephiroth, and the 22 paths that connect the Sephiroth. Most meanings of tarot cards you can find on the internet neglect the position of the tarot cards on the Tree of Life. This deprives tarot readers of an entire set of meanings. The Enlightenment Tarot Project attempts to recover this original set of tarot meaning and align it with modern psychology. Let's have a look at the Seven of Wands and analyze where the various meanings come from. Here's the illustration of the Rider-Waite deck. The Seven of Wands represents Netzach of Tiferet. Netzach is the Sephiroth of creativity, desires, and feelings. The literal meaning of Netzach is victory or success. Astrologically, the Seven of Wands represents the third decade of Leo, subruled by Aries. This gives us a combination of Leo and Aries qualities. Leo and Aries are both fiery signs. Their angle is 120 degrees, meaning they are neutral to each other. The Sun rules Leo and Mars rules Aries. The corresponding astrological houses are the house of the heart and the house of the self. Aries natives are born leaders, entrepreneurs, and business developers. Leo natives are born rulers or managers. Leaders lead people somewhere. Rulers govern the status quo. The house of the self governs the querent's ego, self-identity, personality, fate, and destiny. It has also to do with self-realization and the heart's desire, which is the most important thing the querent wants to be and do in her life. Hence, this house governs the purpose of the querent's incarnation. The house of the heart governs all the things and people we love. This house has also to do with the way we exercise control over our fields of influence. Do we exercise control with empathy and kindness, or are we tyrannical? The Rider-Waite version shows a man, seemingly distressed, holding up a wand. The other 6 wands seem to attack him. The Enlightenment Tarot version shows 7 wands that form a heptagon and a 7-pointed star. The 7-pointed star is a symbol of skill. We can't draw a 7-pointed star with a geometrical method. We can draw it only by trial and error. As you can see, the symbolism is neutral. Let's have a look at some of the meanings given by various tarotists. Arthur Edward Waite believes that the Seven of Wands is a card of success. He derived this meaning from the position of the Seven of Wands on the Tree of Life. The 7th Sephira is Netzach, which means victory or success. The Seven of Wands is on the spiritual level, and wands symbolize intention and willpower, indicating a strong probability of success. According to Arthur, the querent will be untouchable by competition. Waite also believes that the Seven of Wands is a card of valor. His explanation of the symbolism: 6 are attacking 1, but the 1 has a vantage position. This goes back to the sun sign Leo. The source of valor is the heart. Wars are won with the heart. The sun rules Leo, and the planet Sun is associated with the heart. In business, Asia, the physical world, this card indicates negotiations, war of trade, barter, and competition. These meanings go back to the sun sign Leo. To rule well, we need to be able to negotiate. Barters are uncivilized negotiations, and war of trade are forceful negotiations. On the intellectual plane, this card signifies discussion and worldly strife. These are the ways we do negotiations. Mind that discussions are intellectual affairs. Arthur gives the adverse meanings of perplexity, embarrassments, anxiety, and indecision. One can make the point that these are the consequences of erroneous ruling or managing. Eteia, a French occultist and the first known professional tarotist, gives the favorable meaning of negotiations and the adverse meaning of indecision, which goes back to the ruling and the sun sign Leo and concurs with weight. Papus, another French occultist and founder of the Martinist order, offers the meaning certain success, which relates to the position of the Seven of Wands on the Tree of Life. Madame Lenormand was a famous fortune teller during the Napoleonic era. She gives the meanings of loss, irreparable or recovered, as well as thieving, which is also a form of loss. Losses and failures are the opposite of success. Madame Lenormand gives only the adverse meaning of the Seven of Wands based on the position of the card on the Tree of Life. Her meaning is more on the fortune-telling side. Gregor Mather, the founder of the Golden Dawn, offers the favorable meaning of success, gain, advantage, profit, and victory. Likely he derived at those considering the position of that card on the Tree of Life. Mind that success and gain are not the same thing. Gain follows success. This compares to successfully completing a business deal and receiving payment for it. As every businessman knows, these are two different things and two different challenges. Gain belongs to Malkuth or Asia. Gregor offers the following adverse meanings: indecision, doubt, hesitation, and anxiety, which indicates the consequence of bad ruling. Leo. Like Arthur, Gregor also offers the meaning embarrassment. Embarrassment is an emotional experience caused by a publicly known failure. Madame Le Marchand, a 19th century celebrated Parisian fortune teller, offers the meaning of secret passion. This relates also to Netzach, which is the sphere of desires and feelings. She adds that the querent will overcome this passion after a struggle of 14 days. This is more on the fortune-telling side too. As you can see, the meanings of tarot cards are a bit messy, sometimes contradicting. A tarot reader should not only know the meanings of the tarot cards, but also where those meanings come from. This will allow her to consolidate seemingly contradicting meanings and give the querent both a favorable and adverse meaning of a spread. The Enlightenment Tarot focuses on the meanings derived from the position of the tarot cards on the Tree of Life. These are the original meanings. They are also logical, systematic, and easy to remember. Thank you for watching this episode of the Enlightenment Tarot. Please help to spread the light with a like and a share. And don't forget to subscribe. Love and light.